That's actually the face I made like the whole month of March, April, and May when I was a senior, thinking about what was going to come next for me, especially since I chose to major in poli-sci and communications. But what Teach America is we are an education nonprofit, we're a national education nonprofit, and we have a mission statement that all children deserve access to an excellent education regardless of their socioeconomic background. Has anybody heard about Teach America before? Perfect. You're going to get to see that. But in the United States, not all children have access to equal education, and a lot of you that may have grown up in the Los Angeles area, that were raised in the Los Angeles area, it's very apparent very quickly. In Los Angeles and in the nation at the moment, only 8% of children that are growing up in lower socioeconomic backgrounds are actually making it out of college with a 4-year degree in their hand by the time they reach the age of 25. That's 8% compared to 80% of people that are from higher socioeconomic backgrounds that are making it out with a 4-year degree in their hand. There's a really big difference between getting a kid to college and getting a kid through college, because attending 2 years of college is not as useful as having that ERCS degree, and it's going to affect your professional and life trajectory in very different manners. And at the end of the day, if a kid is not doing well in college, a lot of it can be traced down to the K-12 level. And what Teach America does is we actually ask talented recent college graduates to teach in a low-income community for a 2-year commitment. We do placements in 50 regions across the United States, pre-K through 12th grade, all subjects. For anybody that has an interest in psych, that is a psych major, nothing is more interesting in terms of behavioral psychology than watching middle schoolers interact. I taught pre-K through 8th grade Spanish in Baltimore myself. I actually had the pleasure of teaching with a lot of teachers that came with a psych background. And I think that there's a lot of really interesting observations and interactions you can make with students having come from that perspective. In Baltimore City Schools, for example, I was placed in the largest school with 2,500 students, and we actually only had access to one school psychologist, even though about 67% of children in Baltimore City Schools were actually experiencing symptoms and demonstrating symptoms of PTSD because of the communities that they were growing up in and a lot of the events that them and their families had witnessed. For anybody that has ever taught about teaching, that has ever taught about being involved in social justice, having a career that truly impacts a community and other people, Teach America offers you the opportunity to do that immediately after you graduate. You earn a full-time competitive salary. You do earn a full state teaching credential at the end of the 2 years, which is always something really great to have in your back pocket. It is an incredible soft background on a resume, so you do become more competitive for grad school, for PhD programs. Being in a school environment is something that's going to be really wonderful for people going into industry, going into academia, that are interested in school psychology, child psychology, family counseling, any type of counseling. So it's really relevant experience. There's an AmeriCorps award of $11,000 on top of your full-time salary that you can use to pay for graduate school, for any assisted student loans. And I think more importantly, it gives you the opportunity to wake up every single day for 2 years and have a really direct and immediate impact on a group of low-income students and community. Part of the reason that we've chosen to come to CSULA, that myself as a Los Angeles native that was raised in Compton Watts, am particularly excited to be at CSULA is because of the incredible diversity that we have on this campus. Last year, 54% of our teachers were actually people of color, which is something we're really proud of. I think that you can't be what you don't see, and a lot of our students aren't seeing successful role models of color that are doing really great things in education. And I think it's exciting to go back and reinvest in a low-income community because it's something that we don't see in a lot of our communities. And our kids are growing up with the mentality that in order to make it, you get out and that's how you measure success. That's the way I was raised. That's the path I was going down. I didn't apply to Teach for America as a senior. I applied to Teach for America after I did a master's program, after I actually worked for 3 years. And it wasn't until I noticed that everyone in my community was in the same place they had been 5 years prior, 4 years prior, 6 years prior, and the only difference between myself and all of my cousins and all of my schoolmates was the fact that I had a 4-year degree and he didn't. So there's nothing more powerful you can provide a community with than an excellent education. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Thinking of this for my older sister, she's got a bachelor's degree, and from San Diego State in like hospitality and tourism. Would she be able to do this?
So this is something that is open to all all majors. This is something that, yeah, it's open to all majors.
You have to be a senior to do this, or?
Yes, so this is something that starts right after you graduate. So you do have to be a senior to actually start. You do have to have a BA or a master's to actually start the program. But if you are not currently a senior, then what ended up happening, what happens a lot, is somebody will come to your class and do a presentation, and you're like, oh, really, I'll look this up, and then you lose the paper. So I passed these out in case anyone is interested. You can actually give me your name, last name, graduation date, and then what ends up happening is I will send you an email and say, hey, these are the days that I'm actually on campus in my office right here in King Hall. Did you want to sit down for a 15-minute chat or a 15-minute meeting to find out a little more? And if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, it basically means that I'll leave you alone until you get a little closer to graduation, and then I'll remind you, like, this is something that you decided to learn more about. So if anyone is interested in expanding your own postgraduate opportunities, this is just one of many things you can be looking into post-graduation. This is a wonderful way to expand those opportunities while also expanding the educational and professional opportunities for children in the low-income community. Any questions?
Do you want to tell them a little bit about the application process? Are you guys
Thank you.
interested in hearing about that?
Yeah, so it's actually a 3-step application process. We have an application coming up on January 30th. There's an online application, phone interview, and in-person interview. And the reason that I'm excited to be at CSULA is because this is the first year we've actually had a recruiter dedicated to you guys full-time. So I'm actually here as a support mechanism at every single step of the way. The online application is due January 30th, and it only takes 2 hours to complete. Our application is available at teachformerica.org. I'm actually having an application support session next week. So if you give me your email address, I can email you and say, hey, did you want to meet also during this day? I'm actually going to be having, which is next Thursday, I'm having an application session right here in my office in King Hall. But the application just requires 3 short answers, 250 words or less, and tagging on a resume. You don't need transcripts ready to go. You don't need letters of recommendation. So it's perfect in case you still want a little more time to think it over to get your foot in the door rather than having the January 30th deadline pass by and you missed out on a really wonderful opportunity.
And do you mind if I share your email with the class?
Absolutely not.
I'll send you an email with her contact and
Yeah, so I'll
the
email
dates
you.
on which you're going to be
Yeah.
holding the sessions.
Thank you very much.
Okay, if you guys are interested in giving her your information, please write down right now, and then we're going to go collect them because I want, how I forgot paper, so I want her to be able to reuse the blank ones.
So when you're done, if you guys can just pass all of them to the front.
Actually, I think I'll